So the next video I'm making is basically designing your own motifs for Rosepath if you have an 8-shaft loom. I would strongly suggest, I did do, my last video had to do with the same thing but having to do with a 4-shaft loom. Even if you've got an 8-shaft loom, I would still look at that video because just to get the basic concepts, because the concepts do carry over to the 8-shaft, but they're just a little bit more complicated in the 8-shaft, right? You've got a bigger design, you've got larger threading, and so on and so forth. So if you can get it, obviously, and understand the concept with a smaller design and smaller amount of threading, it's, you know, you're just basically carrying over those skills to the next one over. I would suggest, if you're not used to Rosepath, I do have other videos that I've done in the past. I would start, you know, if you're not sure about drafts, I would start with understanding weaving drafts first, that one that I've done, just to wrap your mind about how a weaving draft actually works and how to read it and figure out the design that you've got. And then I've got a whole bunch of other videos having to do with Rosepath, using one color, using 2 colors, on like a single line, for example. I think I've got just doing Rosepath on its own. I think I've got one for that. I think it's a video 1. So I would take a look at those just to get comfortable with, you know, the concept. If you already know about Rosepath and so forth, and you just want to jump into your own designs, then yeah, absolutely start with these videos. So let me change the camera angle, and we'll get started with an 8-shaft design. Okay, so just really quickly, in the last video, as I said, I did Rosepath, and we're going to do a very similar one, obviously, with 8-shaft, and we did basically a flower. If you did watch that video, you found out that I wasn't able to actually do it on my loom because my threading was wrong. My threading was for an 8-shaft, not a 4-shaft, okay? So you'll notice basically with a 4-shaft, obviously you've got 8 threads that make up the threading, which means that your design cannot be more than 8 threads wide. Your design can be as long as you want it to be. So for example, in this case here, I've got 8-2 cotton. 8-2 cotton has 20 PPIs, which is picks per inch. So in terms of the picks this way, or you've got 8 across this way, so 8 is obviously less than half of 20, so you're looking at probably about half an inch wide. And then up here, it's going up 9 picks, so again, half an inch high. If I wanted it to be 20 picks high, for example, then it would be an inch long, okay? Because again, the tabbies basically is squished so you don't see them, all right? And again, you know, the tabbies should not add a whole lot of extra length or width to it, okay? So let's put this one away, and let's look at the actual design that we've got. So now, with the 8-shaft threading Rosepath, you're looking at 16 threads, okay? So you're going from 1 to 8, 1, and then 8 to 2, okay? I align them both on top, basically, so I can see exactly like which line is for which harness, basically. So that allows my design to be 16 threads wide if I want. Now, in my case, I did not do that. When I show you a picture later on with the actual design, you'll notice that obviously it's very small. The detail is very difficult to see as well. I should have, you know, probably extended this and made these much wider so that the detail would come out a little bit better. But again, this is just for, you know, practice sake. Okay. So basically, if it is the same thing as we had before, is that if you've got a loom that has a rising harnesses, you're going to do your design based on the white spaces, okay, for your tie-ups, all right? If it is a sinking harnesses that you've got for your loom, then again, you're looking at the actual colored squares to make up your tie-up, okay? Same thing as in the other video. If you happen to do the wrong tie-up, let's say I've got a rising shed and by mistake I do the sinking shed tie-up, I'm still going to get a right side and a wrong side to it. It's just that when I'm actually weaving, I'm going to see the wrong side because it's not made for my loom. The correct side will be underneath. And again, my eyes and brain don't work that way. I need to actually see what it is that I'm weaving to make sure whether I'm making a mistake or not. Okay, so some of you, that may not be a huge issue to do. Okay, if you have, I believe, so I have an 8-shaft table loom. So I've got basically 8 levers. But that gives me an inordinate amount of combinations that I can have when I'm actually doing my tie-up, okay? Because I'm pulling down the lever separately. So I could have each of these individual, I could have various combinations. So it does allow me a lot of variety. I'm not sure because I don't have a floor loom for an 8 shaft, and I'm not sure how many treadles you get for an 8 shaft. You'll get at least 8. I'm thinking you're getting 10 because you have 8 for the pattern and then 2 for tabby, I'm thinking. Okay. Again, if somebody has an 8 shaft floor loom, if you can put in the comments below how many treadles you actually have, because again, I'm not very familiar with the actual floor loom. Okay. So let's put this off to the side here, okay? And let's start figuring out, okay, so let me see if I can move that over here. Okay, figuring out our tie-ups, all right? So basically, we know that for tabby A and tabby B, if it's an 8 harness loom, you've got one that will be 1, 3, 5, and 7 for those harnesses. Tabby B will be 2, 4, 6, 8, all right? So now I want to know, I can go up to 6 well, in this case, I only need 6 combinations to do this house, but I could have 13 other combinations. Again, as long as I don't use more than 8 levers in those combinations, I can do all sorts of combinations, okay? Now, in terms, as I said, if you have treadles and you're hooking up those harnesses to the treadle, you are stuck with how many treadles you have, unless you're going to hook up, unhook, and so on and so forth, which obviously is a lot more work, but it is possible to do that. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at, and when I use my combos, I use numbers. Again, that can be confusing based on, the harnesses or whatever the case is. So if it's going to confuse you, I mean, you can use letters, Roman numerals, whatever it is, that makes it easier for you to remember. So I generally, when I do my combos, I start from the bottom and I kind of go to the top there. Okay, you don't have to. You can go in any order you want. But again, when you're going to be weaving, because when you weave Rosepath, basically, you've got a pattern pick, and then you've got one of the tabby picks, okay? So in this case here, because I've got green that I'm starting off with, my first one would be basically, and you start from the bottom going towards the top because you're weaving this way, okay? So this one here will be a green pick going across to get this. The next one will be tabby A, which goes across, which I should not see. Then I'm going to do this pick here in green, okay, whatever combination that is, then do the tabby B, and so on and so forth, and of course if I need to change colors. I have not yet figured out, and I'll do a video if I ever do figure it out, I'm not sure how to have 2 colors on the same line. So let's say, for example, I wanted to do a snowman, and you have the white belly, and then you've got like the black buttons in the white belly. I'm not quite sure how to do that yet. I'm guessing there's some sort of pickup that's involved in that, but again, that's for a future time. Right now I'm wrapping my head around this. So let's take a look here for the white spaces. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. So I need 1 to 5. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to call that combination 1 for me. Okay? The next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1, 7. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 is my second combination. Okay? Then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So I've already got that combination down. I don't need to redo that. Okay? Then this one here is 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't have that one. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll say it's combination 3. And then we've got basically 1 to 5 and 7. Yeah, so we already have this combination here for this one here. This one here is 2, 3, 4, 5, which we already have that combination down. Okay? This line here, we've got 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. So we do not have that combination. 2, 3, 4. And then the next line here is 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And, oh, I need an extra line here. I need an extra combination here. I've got 2 to 7. All right, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my boo-boo, let's just add that in. So I'm going to have 7 combinations and my tabby. Okay? So I'm going to have to redo this because I think this one's not finished yet. Okay? So basically, when I'm actually going through, right, I'm going to look at, like when I do my treadling here, I basically what I do is I actually write it out instead of looking at this thing here, for example. I'll write it out and I'll say, okay, combo 1, I have to pull down these levers for my table loom, right? Combo 2, I pull down these levers, and so on and so forth. Again, if you've got, because this is for a rising shed, if you've got a sinking shed, then obviously for the first combo, you would need basically 6, 7, 8 instead, right? So all the empty spaces would be for the sinking shed instead of the rising shed. So again, it depends on what you've got. And again, if you've seen a previous video, I was using my rising shed loom as a sinking shed, and it's obviously not meant to be a sinking shed, but I did not realize how the levers worked because I've gotten the table loom used, and what I thought was a starting position clearly was not. So it does work. Okay, I have been able to use on my Voyager. I have been able to use the sinking shed tie up if I'm actually lowering the harnesses, which again is not what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so as I said, we've already talked about the fact of the A2 cotton and the PPI, and in this design, the picks going up, you've got 11 picks, so it should be approximately ½ an inch high. Okay, and again, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'll be approximately about ½ an inch wide as well for each one. Okay, so what I would do here is I would look at, okay, what's the first combination I need? I need 2 to 5. Yeah, so 2 to 5 would be combo 1. Okay, and I put it in green so that I know. And then after I've done that one, I'm going to do my tabby A. Okay, then the next one here is combo 2. Okay, and then I do my tabby B. And I'm literally just going line by line, and I think at the end I forgot because I'm here at 5, so 5 was what? At the very bottom, so, okay, hold on, 5, 6B. So where's 6? 6 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is this line here, okay? So I forgot to put in the last line here. So the last line will be 7, and I finished with a tabby B, so I'm going to have to do 7A, and I'm going to put in like that, okay? And usually what I'll do is I type it up on a computer sometimes, and I'll just, for the colors, I'll put the font color as green or the font color as red or whatever, and print it out that way so that I can keep it in a book long term. But again, it's all up to you basically. So let me go over to the loom. I'm going to reorganize the camera again onto the loom so that you can see actually I did this. It did work out, and so we can take a quick look at what it looks like at the end. Okay? Alright, so basically I did it here. You'll notice that you are seeing the white tabbies in between, so I don't think I beat it hard enough basically, and the length of this basically is a little bit more than ½ an inch because of these open spaces. So the tension's pretty tight, so I'm thinking maybe it needed to be just a slightly bit looser to have them scrunch together a little bit closer. Okay, so again, if I was not seeing all of this, now you're going to see, it's hard to see the detail on this, but the windows are so incredibly tiny, right? It's just literally one thread, and these are the 16-2 threads, so not seeing a whole lot of detail. I think I should have used all 16 squares to make the design wider so that I could see the windows a lot better. But again, I can still tell that this is a house and so on and so forth. So again, it gives you the opportunity now, like, with 8 shaft, you have a larger opportunity with design complexity compared to the 4 shaft, that, you can choose, like, how big do you want it to be, how small, what colors. Again, I don't know about having the same color, 2 different colors on the same line. I don't know about that, but all of these are the same color, as the line goes down, so it's not an issue. So I hope that helps you out, and it kind of opens up your world to be able to add different little designs to your towels or whatever it is that you happen to be weaving, because it makes it so much nicer to add those little details. Pumpkins at Halloween, and snowmen at Christmas, and so on and so forth. So have yourself a great day.